What's up, everyone? Lord MC here, back at it again with your dose of harmonics. Sorry for the lack of videos the past 2 weeks. Been pretty busy, but I wanted to cover some of the indices and blue chip stocks, especially coming into a very volatile week with GDP and PCE, as well as Powell talking. But before I get into that, I want to preface by saying I am not a financial advisor. None of the things I say in my videos or anywhere else is ever financial advice. So question everything, do your own research, and come out with your conclusions. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so sorry if my voice is a little raspy. Seems like I'm trying to catch a cold here, but hopefully not. Um, but having said that, let's jump right into the SPY. The SPY did finish negative 0.17% for the day. It was kind of a stagnant day. Didn't do much. It went as high as 397.30 before coming down and closing the day at 395.23. So let me bring up my drawings here. I know it's a lot, but bear with me here. I'm explaining what I see with it regards to harmonics. I've been mentioning this channel here that it's been trading for a while now. It was mentioned that I wanted to create higher lows and higher highs before we continue testing up to the 400 level, especially on this top of the descending broadening wedge. It looks like now it's creating that higher low. We did close above the 13 EMA here, so depending on what GDP and what Powell says tomorrow, we could potentially drop down to test the 21 EMA at, I believe is 391.44, and maybe come down to touch this channel here, this trend line around 390. Should you break down from 390 here and you have PCE on Thursday come bearish, this could potentially fill that gap here. It starts at 385 to 381, in which case it would be concerning because it would start to create lower lows and lower highs. So in that sense, we could potentially start seeing going back into the bear market again. And we're still in the bear market, but right now we are currently in a bull trend. So if bearish news comes out with GDP and PCE, and we break down below 390 and fill that gap, in my opinion, you are probably looking to get back into a bear trend. So we definitely have to watch out for that if that is the case. If we get bullish data here, it could potentially still come down to 390, but that's where the bulls will need to step up. I do have a level here. I've been saying that if we lose 390, you're possibly going to come down and fill that gap. So 390.19 right here is a very important level. So if the bulls if the bears get us down there and the bulls don't step up, we are going to continue down. So depending on what the data shows on Wednesday and Thursday and what Powell says, it'll be very important to see what happens. So in the bullish case scenario, you definitely want to bounce from 390.19 back up above 393.84, then 396.13. In my opinion, if you break 396.13, you will come up and test to fill that gap around 400, 401, between 400 and 401, fill that gap where the 200 EMA is, and then possibly start looking to create that new higher high and fill that gap up to 408, where the top of the descending broadening wedge is. You will obviously have some resistance, not going to just clearly go up there with ease, but if that is where the market is going to go, if we have bullish data, then we can clearly see above 400 levels, but we will have to wait and see on that. Other than that, yeah, tomorrow is critical, I think, and then Thursday. So we will jump right now into the triple Qs. So the triple Qs finished the day at 280.57 and went as high as 283, low being 279.17. So as you can tell here, the triple Qs did bounce off my trend line here. So this is still creating higher highs, higher lows. So the bulls need to step above here. I think it closed just above or just below the 21 EMA. So you definitely want, it did bounce off of this trend line here. So the next level you would want, if you're going long, you want it to be above 289.07 to be anywhere bullish, because you do have here a resistance around 293. In my opinion, if you break 293, you could potentially start looking to fill that gap up to the 308, 309 level. But again, that's all dependent on what the data is going to come out. Should you lose this trend right here, you're going to come down to 276.85, just above the the 50 SMA is. If you lose that, you will fill this gap. Right now, I mentioned that a lot of the indices and a lot of the stocks here have gap downs. So if there is bearish data coming out, and Powell is bearish, hawkish, he will, not he will, but the market will come down and fill those gaps, in my opinion. So that gap would start between anywhere between 273 to 270, 269. So if you lose that, you fill this gap. You already did a type 1 reaction here off this bullish butterfly pattern. So you may come back down to do a type 2 reaction and test. If you fill this gap on bearish data, you will come back to 265 and then possibly to 256, 86 down the line. But you will have to see what the data comes out for this week. Otherwise, you definitely bulls need to step up here to keep control of this area. Otherwise, you will come crashing down, in my opinion. Jumping over to the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones, like I said, out of the three indices, is the most bullish. Out of its descending broadening wedge, it definitely broke out, retested it, and then continued to push out. So that was a confirmed breakout. Something that is very interesting here is that you have a golden cross on the 200 on the EMAs here approaching on the daily. This should probably happen. This could happen this week, depending again on the data. But you did finish the day at 338.48. You did get stopped here the past 2 days at 243.09. So you're definitely holding on to the 13 EMA here. So if data is bearish, you could possibly come back to test 332 with the 21 EMA and then fill the gap here around 331, 330. I think 331. In my opinion, if you come back and test and you fill this gap, you will retest the top of the descending broadening wedge, possibly down the line test 322. Otherwise, if it's bullish, you definitely want to come up and test 243. If you break 243 here, because it's a level where it likes to bounce off of, you could tell here from previous candles here. You could tell it either bounces or it breaks down. So in my opinion, if this is a key level here that it is approaching, if it breaks 243.09, you can come and fill this gap at 246 to 247, and there's another gap up between 360 and somewhere around there, 360, 361. But that's obviously on very bullish news. I don't know if it'll get up there, but who knows? Out of the three indices, the Dow Jones is the one that is a little bit more bullish. It's just been on a massive run here. So if the SPY and the NASDAQ are late to the party, they usually are, we could potentially continue seeing this movement going much further. But again, like I said, it all depends on what the data comes out this week and what Powell says. I wanted to jump over here to the VIX. So the VIX here, I guess it's hard to chart the VIX, but I'm just going to show you what the harmonics are saying. Bullish bat pattern was generated here. Did a type 2 reaction down to almost hop and is consolidating here. It has a gap now again around $21. So tomorrow we're going to find out if we fill that gap for sure. Or tomorrow and Thursday. This week we're going to find out whether if this fills this gap or not. If it does, obviously you come back to test hop at 1981. My opinion, if you get into 1981, you could potentially start saying that, hey, we are officially in a bull market or in a bull trend. Bull market, yeah, bull market, because right now we are still in a bear market. Anything above 20, in my opinion, is bearish. Anything below 19, 20, call it 19, you are in a bull market. It's hard. I know it's tough to say, or that it doesn't look like we are, because we definitely aren't. We are at 2190 right now, so we're still in the bear market. But you have, I'm not going to hold too much weight on this, but it's kind of interesting here. You do have a death cross approaching here on the 200 EMA, and what a coincidence that is exactly going to happen either tomorrow or Wednesday. So we'll see what that does. It could be short-lived. You could potentially come fill that gap, maybe go to hop at 19 and then reverse. But interesting to see what the VIX will do tomorrow. Let's see, jumping over to Apple here. So Apple been following this bat pattern, this bullish bat pattern, where it did a beautiful type 1 reaction, almost to target 2, and it came back down, and it is holding a little bit strong right now. It did close the day at 141.17, I did draw a line here at 140.57. Should you lose that, you're going to probably most likely fill that gap around 138, which is exactly where the XA is here off of this bullish bat pattern at the 0.886. If data is bad, you could if you lose 137.69, in my opinion, you're going to come and test the lows of this candle here where point D was generated off of this bullish bat pattern. You lose that, you're going to come test hop. So it's interesting to see maybe here that maybe Apple kind of has a wonky inverse head and shoulders. Maybe not really. I guess this would be the right shoulder. This was didn't really complete, but who knows? Apple it's been taking a beating the past couple of days though, so definitely bulls need to step up here in this range around 140.57 because I do believe that is a critical level. And again, that's going to be all depending on what data comes out this week. For the bull case scenario, if you want to be bullish on Apple, you need to climb back up above 148.05 in my opinion. 148.05, you could potentially start seeing target 1 at 150, and then for the most bullish case, you need to break 153.10. You break 153.10, you can go 156 and then possibly test target 2 at 160. But we will see. That's probably down the line, or we'll see if that happens this week or in the future, depending on if the data is bullish or not. Jumping over to Microsoft here. So Microsoft finished the day at negative 0.59% for the day, went as high as 242.79 before closing the day at 240.33. I have this trend line, this horizontal line here at 242.50 that it's not holding on to it. It breaks up above it, but it fails the breakout and it comes back down. So it is holding the 21 above the 21 EMA here. Should you lose 240.33, you're gonna possibly come here to 237 where the 50 SMA is, and then lose that, you will fill this gap down to 228. In my opinion, I have this horizontal line here at 230.65, which is the previous harmonic target here, and if you lose that, you're going to come back down to 219.74, then possibly test 210 to finish that type 2 reaction off of this ABCD pattern. But again, we will see what the data shows. You do have an HSI arrow here where it was overbought, so now it's coming back down. I did cross the midline here on the HSI, so if this is going to continue pushing down, this could be a key critical level here, down to 219.74. If you're going long on the market or long on Microsoft, you definitely want to get above 242.50. You get above 240.50, you could potentially start looking at a type 1 reaction here at target 1 at 256, but you will find, I believe I think it's 248. Yeah, 248, somewhere around there, 248 here. You will find resistance here. Break 248, you could see high 250s, but we'll see if that happens. Jumping over to Tesla. So Tesla is on a clear downtrend, as you could tell. It's been bear flagging and consolidating here with between 188 and 177, somewhere around there. It finished the day at negative 1.14% for the day, went as high as 186 before closing the day at 180. You are at a key level here. You got rejected. You got rejected off the 13 EMA and closed the day below the 9 EMA. So the next level of support here for Tesla is at 177.12. You lose that, in my opinion, you will come and fill that gap at 170. If you fail this area here at 170 and you lose 167, in my opinion, you will come back down to the 142 to fill that gap. There is a harmonic here, I believe, on the 2-day, I think. I like the 3 actually. The 3-day. Two-day, 3-day pick, you could take your pick here. It doesn't really matter, but they're all the same. They all have hop at around 113. That's a little bit I mean, people have been saying that they could see Tesla up to 80, but I don't know about that. Harmonics here at the hop level here has 113.12. You could potentially see enough of bearish data here. You could see 162 and then 144 to fill that gap around 144 and 137, 138, somewhere around there. So you did get rejected so far off the 200 EMA here on the weekly. So the next level of support, if you lose that 167 level, is the 200 SMA here at 162. So everything right now is at a key critical level here. So you do have volume stepping. There's a lot of volume right now in Tesla. There's a lot of things going on with Elon, Twitter, and Elon fighting Apple, and it's just crazy right now. So there's a lot of volatility coming into this week. Let me jump over to Amazon here. So Amazon on the 1 day is also at a key level. It did bounce off on the top of this gap. This gap down here, should you not break up above the 90 EMA here at around $94, you're going to come back down and fill that gap up, down to $89. You fill that, you're going to come to 88, and in my opinion 88, you will come down anywhere between $81.30 and $88. This is a trading range that it's been trading up in the past. You can tell here it's been trading in the past, so somewhere there, in my opinion, it will start to consolidate if there is bad data. There's a lot of volatility right now with Amazon as well. Volume has been stepping up here. If you're going long on Amazon, you definitely want to break above the 90 EMA and then get up to 96. I believe if you can get above 96, it looks a little bit more bullish, and you could potentially start looking at 107 down the line. But that's all, again, depending on what the data comes out and what it come out, if it's either bullish or bearish this week. So we'll see what that brings this week. I'm jumping over, I forget what I was going to say here. I think wanted to cover Google. Yeah, that was it. On the 1 day here, Google is on below the 21 EMA here, below all EMAs. So if it doesn't hold on to this level here, you're going to come back down to 92.72 and then possibly hop here at 84.79 and fill that gap at $82. I think you can get there if bearish data comes out, but otherwise, if you're going long and if data is bullish, you definitely want to break up above $97. You break $97, you could potentially start looking at a type 1 reaction at 103.50 and then 110.73. Everything right now is at a standstill. You got double tops right here. So it's the data, whatever the data comes out on Wednesday and Thursday, is definitely gonna let us know where the market is gonna go. I think if there's anything else I was gonna get into, cover Tesla. Yep, I guess that's all I wanted to cover, guys. So tomorrow will be key on the market. Specifically, I'll be looking at SPY. I am gonna try not to get into many things here, especially with there's definitely gonna be volatility in the morning. GDP, I believe, gets released at 5:30 a.m. Eastern, so that's gonna be interesting to see. And then Powell talks at 1 p.m. Eastern. So very fun day tomorrow. Be careful out there. It's okay to sit out and just wait. Just everything settle, and then it's even okay to set out on Thursday as well, because another day, PCE as well. So if you could just stay on cash and just wait for the dust to settle, and then find out where the market is going to go, and pick a direction. Otherwise, there is going to be volatility, and you could lose a lot of money this week, in my opinion, if you don't have risk management and know your levels as well. So having said that, guys, be careful tomorrow, this week. Play it safe. If you want to, just sit out. But other than that, I will be streaming tomorrow, same time on Twitch. If you want the link, it's right on the description box below. So if you like this type of content, please consider giving me a like. Subscribing to the channel does help me out. Otherwise, you guys have a good rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.